before you fall. Yeah.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the June meeting of the Economic Development Authority of the City of Lynchburg. We will now have our call to order. Mark Stroh-Snyder is here. John Stone.
Here.
George Ann Sneed.
Here.
Kim Sorensen.
Here.
Richard Tugman is absent. Pat Mosby is absent. And we do not recognize Mr. Lovern at this meeting. Okay, we do have a quorum, so the meeting is officially in session. I hope everyone's had a chance to look at the minutes from the May 19 meeting. Does anyone have any additions, subtractions, deletions, corrections to submit at this time?
Motion to approve the minutes as presented.
Okay. We have a motion and second. All those in favor of accepting the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are accepted. Ms. Upshur, do you have a report for the nominating committee, please?
So you named a nominating committee of George Ann and Kim at the last meeting, and we have a slate of officers. However, because of traveling and schedules, we haven't been able to solidify that. So the slate of officers would be John Stone for chair, Richard Tugman vice chair, and Pat Mosby will stay on as the secretary treasurer. And so Richard still needs to has to get a confirmation. So we just like to put the slate out there so that if you have any other nominations, or you just need to be aware that you might be called. You might be called, but Richard just wants to meet with Ted, and Ted's been out of the country. So
sure.
Everything else is John has agreed and Pat has agreed. So I appreciate George Ann and Kim, and I will confirm that when Richard returns and Ted returns. Tripp, when does Ted return? Do you know?
I think not next week. I think at the end of next week.
Okay. That's
Okay.
all I have.
All right, Ms. Upshur, the next item on the list.
Oh, okay. Well, I might start to cry, but the EDA wanted to recognize Melissa Disman, who is moving to an exciting new job with emergency services. They don't know how lucky they are. And she will be leaving this office after 27 years of service. Is that right, Melissa? I'm not. So she won't be leaving us, but she knows how it is when you're not in City Hall. So she has been a tremendous asset to the department, but also we're staff to the EDA. And Melissa, especially in the last few years, has taken on, from an accounting perspective, just a whole new role in that arena. And, we greatly appreciate it. And, I'll just say there have been times in terms of changing staff and directors where Melissa manned no pun intended, manned the office alone. I mean, she was it. So she has done a great service and will continue to do that at Emergency Services.
May I add a few words to the official record, please? In March of 1995, Melissa Disman first joined City's Office of Economic Development. For 27 years, this young lady has served the citizens and businesses of the City of Lynchburg. She's worked with 4 directors and countless staff, and has left her mark on projects from Frito-Lay to the Miller Center to the Virginian. Her organization and administration have kept the office running smoothly through times of great success and times of great challenge. Notably, in recent years, Melissa administered business support through the CARES Act, to businesses and nonprofits, and has supported innovative programs like Grow One and Hire One, and managed a combination of functions when tourism and museums merged into economic development. Her candor, her sense of humor, and her big-hearted support for this community will be deeply missed by her colleagues and by the EDA. Melissa, for your 27 years of service to the Office of Economic Development and the Economic Development Authority, we commend you, we thank you, and we wish you all the best in the future. We love you.
That's amazing.
Thank you. And I got calling, because y'all know, Theodore is not here. We both was on the same page, I guess the Friday before he went over the country, because I talked to Andrea, and she said, Ted just kept saying, I gotta call Melissa, gotta call him. I said, I did the same thing, because I called him when I was on vacation, and was supposed to call him back, but I forgot. So he'll be back Friday in the office, because that's on the list.
I see. There you go. She knows we.
Look, he's been, it's just like, Ted,
Oh, you two both know where all the dead bodies are buried.
Yes, they do.
So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Well,
Told y'all this would
do we
be a
need
short
to
meeting.
discuss any of the,
Yeah, I just want to go over them, and I also want to put on the, for Trip to Capture, that you all know that yearly, and I think it's yearly now, there's a conflict of interest training and a FOIA training that is needed to be done. Ted has been asking me about that. I've gone to the clerk of council, and she is going to be putting that together for all the boards and commissions. I will send you all a notice for that. I think it is going to be, if we don't have another surge of any type, in person. And she will bring somebody in to do that training, and it should be sometime in late August. So I know Ted was anxious, and I am too, because it's not something that, we usually get a notice, that comes through that says that you do it, but we're not the ones, Walter would do it, but, Matt's not gonna do it, so she'll bring in somebody. Alicia will bring in somebody to do that. So, the things that I put on your, at your chair were, we have several easements out, that are outstanding. So we have easements with the Bedford Regional Water Authority, and I think Ted's already discussed those. It's just they sent some documents in, their attorney, I believe, sent some documents in, and I sent those over to Ted, and I don't know that he was able to get a chance to review those before he left. Then we got another package from AEP and asking for easements, and I've sent those over, but you hadn't seen any of that before, so I just made copies of the two easements and the little place where they are on the map, and they look strangely like exactly the same easements that the Bedford Regional Water Authority might be asking for, but they're two separate projects. So I put those at your desk. I also put at your chair the second amendment to the lease with BWXT. We discussed it in last month's meeting. Rick had made some recommendations for going back to them, and they accepted all of those. So, upon Ted's review of these changes, I would like the EDA to, I want to get this signed. We want them staying as long as we can have that.
one question, Anna, should the budget be amended to reflect now that we have this, once this is in place? Because it has not, did not reflect any rental income after November.
So at your July annual meeting, we can bring that amendment back.
I just want to see their signature on there before we touch that budget.
Correct.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any questions concerning these? All right.
I do have one question. This is gonna be a firm 6-month lease. It's not a month-to-month. It's,
You know, and certainly I have told Rick that we would be happy to extend the lease, you know, for another 6 months or, you know, month, whatever they needed for us to do. And I'm gonna be meeting with BWXT, next week or the week after. So you know, I'm sure it's just a rolling thing with them about getting things prepared and all of that. And I hope all of you saw the press release, where they were awarded the contract for the micro, reactor. So that's a really exciting news.
So to confirm, 6 months, and then after that, it will be revisited?
Well, they'll just
or
have to come to
renegotiated?
us,
Yeah.
and, you know, to let us know. They didn't, originally, they had said 6 months, and then they would do another 6 months. But this amendment, which begins in November,
Mhm.
or at the end of November, I believe, will be put into place for 6 months beyond the November date.
Mhm.
And then I've certainly told Rick that the EDA would entertain any, you know, if they wanted
Sure.
to stay longer.
Sure.
Rick and I'll go out and look at the building and, determine what, architectural, conceptual drawings I need to get, because I believe that building right now is primarily used as office. And it was a manufacturing facility, and I believe, you know, to lease the building, we're gonna have to take it back to a manufacturing space. But I certainly don't wanna do any of that when I don't know who the tenant might be. So Rick and I will go out and walk the building. I'll probably take somebody from engineering here to help me, you know, kind of project manage that. So, just wanted to put those out there because people have vacations and lots of things are going on. And I know Ted will probably have all kinds of stuff on his desk when he gets back, so I just wanted to give you all the lay of the land on that so we can get these things moving, because the July meeting will be your annual meeting in July, and then we'll roll into the retreat. And so Ann and I are gonna get together and kind of figure out what that retreat looks like, because we have a lot going on. I have Carolyn Howard reserved to talk about the master plan, you know, realistic things to move forward on, like the Wigington Road, you know, Jefferson Ridge Parkway sites, and then, you know, get really serious about what do you do with the Wigington Road sites, right? So, and we got lots of things in the coffer. We'll be doing, we found out last week, they all run together, that the EDA was awarded another $500,000 brownfield grant from the EPA.
Good.
So that's unbelievable. But because nobody knows what a brownfield is, they don't make a big deal out of it. But this is you all's third time. And so when you've done that much work, and a lot of this was done looking at Tyriana and Darrington. So, you know, it could be very impactful, and when you get this far down the line with the EPA, you can start to look at, you know, if you have a project, remediation funds. And we always, as you all know, take these funds and leverage those for the Virginia Brownfield Assistance Fund. And that fund does have a remediation piece to it. So like if we get involved in a project here where we've done the assessments, and you find that there's something else on there, you have a lot more leeway to be able to, we can use that as a match and all of that. So that's fantastic. And we also applied for several grants through the Virginia Tourism Corporation, and I can speak to that, for sporting events that we hope to land at Liberty. So that is very exciting. So I'll just go down the list real quick on the staff report and let Alicia and Anna fill in, we're gonna have a tourism stakeholder gathering on June 30th, and I don't know if I mentioned it at the last meeting, but Kim, were you at the meeting, that first meeting, the tourism
I could
stakeholder?
not
You
make
were
it,
out.
I sent something.
Anyway,
out.
it was a record attendance. We've scrubbed up the list of people to be invited to things like that can need to be in the room together, that are promoting, whether they're restaurants, attractions. We just took a really broad brush look at that. We had an unbelievable turnout. We believe we will have that again, because we're trying to make these really meaningful, not just a social gathering. I'm happy for you to talk and exchange cards, but there's some business to be done here. So, we're gonna have colleges on the panel so that these, restaurants, hotels, attractions know how to interface with the colleges. And when we've done that before, that's been really, really successful. So Liberty will host it,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everybody
Do we
always
know
wants
a
to go
time
over
and
there and
place?
see.
Yes, it'll be 8:30 at Liberty Mountain Conference Center.
And the invitations,
They went out maybe 2 weeks ago, and we'll send a reminder this week.
I don't, okay.
Double check.
Mm-hmm.
We both will.
okay. And, we, the Hunden Partners, they've given us their preliminary findings on, the conference center. And we're going through all of the data. It was a huge, report, very, robust with data, which is exactly what I was looking for, to determine that we definitely, could use conference space, right? But where it's located, and the price tag on that was Heritage High School. Quite a bit of money. But anyway, you need the data, right? We don't own the property, the city doesn't own the property, so when you have, we have had a couple calls in the last month from hotel developers looking, for things, and what they want from us is they want to see all the data, right? So, we will, that's another thing, we don't wanna overload you on the retreat, but we will, try to synthesize that information and share that with you all. 'Cause I really would like to, because the revenue that comes from, tourism-based activities, whether they be our residents, or anything else, is very meaningful to the bottom line. And so when I look at how things can grow, I am really focusing on that, on that side of it, right? Because that's a place where it can pay big benefits, and it's really just a question of marketing and making people aware of all the things that are going on. And so with special events and Clayton, on top of all of that, and these events are, very well organized, thanks to him. And I think there's a lot of folks that just don't know, what's happening and where. And so the whole Lynchburg Loves You campaign is out there to bring attention and have people, even residents, start to pay attention and become ambassadors for putting this out there. So I want the EDA to be part of that side of the house, not just the traditional economic development, expansions and that type of thing. Not taking the eye off the ball there, but they both live together. If I'm out there trying to promote the city to a visitor, I just turn that up a little bit, and I can be talking to any kind of business. And most businesses really care now about the quality of life if they're gonna go somewhere. So, we're working with Bellback to recognize their 50th anniversary. That's amazing. And we are, the budget was passed, so we're gonna have a paid intern and work on a white paper for the Town and Gown initiative. So that, looking at what it might look like to have that group come and work together, more as an anchor strategy alongside the city, right? Those big institutions, which we rely, which we rely on from an economic standpoint, what can we do together better? And that's what that person's charge would be. We're hosting interns from Beacon of Hope.
This is Essence.
This is Essence.
Good morning, Essence. Welcome.
Thank
Welcome.
you, I'm glad to be here.
We have 2 interns, and that's amazing. They are really getting to do everything. They're going with her on all of her appointments. So, Anna, do you have anything?
You mentioned the grants to VTC. We did end up submitting for 2 sporting events. We also have prepared, I was just pulling up those numbers. This year we worked with Liberty, Randolph, and Lynchburg to do economic impact calculations for their commencement exercises, which was very eye-opening. Obviously, Liberty is the heavy hitter there, but across all 3 of those, I think we can conservatively estimate nearly 60,000 visitors to the city over those weekends, with a total economic impact, which means total direct spending by those visitors of $14.7 million in the economy.
That is
So,
why I'm folding them in
wild.
for the EDA to know what's happening. Because that's nothing to see.
right, which is why the campus OIH intern and really, leaning back into that anchor strategy. So that's pretty cool.
Has City Council been made aware of these numbers?
Not yet.
No,
So-
they will be.
Yeah. We hosted, Emmeline has been working really, really hard on obviously the brand deployment, but also public relations and media. So there will be a spread probably similar to what was in Virginia Living is what we're thinking, which was, 5-page spread in Southern Living in spring of 23. So they work over a year out. So their photographers were all here last week. And even, I think, one the week before, they came during the Old City Cemetery kind of Rose Peak as well. So they're working a year out on an article about Lynchburg. So that's really exciting. And Emmeline's working with them and worked to connect the photographers to, all kinds of spots around the city. We also hosted a writer last week from Richmond Magazine for a fall spread as well. So, and then just a reminder that the Commonwealth Games, main games weekend is July 22nd and 23rd. You all should have gotten an invitation to the VIP reception that was mailed to your home. But keep a lookout for it if you have not received it yet. But it'll be July 21st in the evening, and they're moving it to Greenhouse, which is next to Crisp, that outdoor space next to Crisp downtown. So that'll be nice. That's all I got.
Okay.
And
Also, I put in your Dropbox, I have followed up with the city market lofts to get that annual. Now, this is for 21, but I dropped in there their financials. So that's something just, every year I follow up with them to make sure that you all signed on for them to repackage that loan, refinance that loan, and so we stay on top of that. So I had just received their final documents and put those in the Dropbox.
did you mention that we're hiring?
Guess what? They showed up.
What? No, please.
Okay. Just one last thing, in case you have any fabulous candidates, we are hiring. So we currently have Melissa's position, which is Administrative Associate 4 for the city, open, and we also have a Digital Marketing Coordinator position open. So those will close July 1, and please, if you have great candidates or know people in the community that would be good at those jobs, send them our way.
Okay. And I think,
Mr. Eisenhower, do we have anything that has to go into closed session?
I have not been made aware of anything. I don't know
No.
if there's
Okay.
anything that's come up late.
you need to, you can say that out loud and look at me. Right?
I
Because
know.
they don't know if I don't tell
I'm showing my respect for
I know
the
you are,
council.
and I think it's
council.
fabulous. But I don't think Tripp would be at all of it.
We kind of looked at me like a deer in the headlights.
Give me any. There you go. So, yeah.
Okay,
So Mark is going to be celebrated on June 30th as well, fittingly at the Skyline, the Virginian Hotel, which is killing it. So we will have the annual meeting and the retreat, and we will talk about all of that. Just for everybody to, update you, I'm going to submit, hopefully draft, the EDA would agree to draft a letter to recommend 2 new authority members, and I'll be getting those names and everything out to you all, but I'm really excited about the people that have, agreed to put their name in the hat for council to approve, and I'm hoping council sees, the value of these folks, so that'll be amazing.
Hmm.
So that's all I have. Anybody, any
All right.
questions for us?
And we will have an incentive committee meeting immediately
Yes, that'll
following?
be- I don't have any items for the incentive committee at this time.
Okay. If no one else has anything, we are officially adjourned.